Today's video is also on sugar, but unlike the last video that I did on sugar, which was about added sugars inside of more common foods like bread and baked beans, and how there is 5 sugar cubes and around 20 grams of sugar inside of one baked beans can, which is not something you'd suspect, and it is those sort of added sugars that I personally think, there's no scientific backing to that, but it's just what I personally think is the main cause of society-wide obesity and insulin resistance. Because while people know the donuts and the chocolate, the sweets, they're bad for them, and that's why they sort of ration them, no one's going to purposely ration baked beans because they know that, oh, they've got a lot of sugar in them. It's the kind of unsuspecting and sneaky sugars that catch people out when it comes to this stuff. Added sugars aside, this video is on the sugars that are common and easy to spot: the chocolates, the sweets, and a few other sort of savoury things, some crisps. That's what I'm going to be talking about in this video, and it's about portion sizes and the phrase "the dose makes the poison," because I made a video once about a dose making a poison and saying how I didn't really like that phrase because it sort of gave one company an excuse to be able to put pesticides and manufacturing chemicals and additives inside of foods, even though they weren't necessarily at a toxic level. It's just the sort of scientific backing that means that they're actually able to do that, even though a lot of that stuff is cumulative poisons and cumulative toxins, such as heavy metals and all that sort of stuff. That's the reason that heavy metal pesticides have been banned, because people have realized that it's not good for you if you're going to be consuming foods that have been sprayed with heavy metal pesticides for an extended period of time, and it's just not going to work out whatsoever. But pesticides and all that sort of stuff aside, the dose makes the poison in this video is relating to sugary snacks and sweets. If you go into your local village store, often local village stores, they will sell a lot of sweet stuff, they will sell a lot of chocolates, they will sell a lot of sweets and like crisps, because it's the kids that are the most common people, because they can't drive to the nearest supermarket, they don't have easy access to all that sort of stuff, buses, trains, etc., because they don't have that much money. They'll go to the local convenience village store to buy some sweets or to buy some chocolate. And if you look at one of these sort of packets, for instance, say dairy milk chocolate buttons, if you look at one of the standard packets, when I was like a kid that used to eat a lot of chocolate and sweets and stuff, they used to be £1. Now they're probably £1.25 or something like that. That's what I remember from the last time I saw them when I went in the shop. If you look at this packet of chocolate buttons that you think is suitable for one person to just eat them all, it'll normally like have maybe something saying share bag at the top, and then if you turn around, it will sort of say serving size 50 grams or something like that, and the bag itself will maybe weigh 200 to 300 grams, and it will say serving size maybe approx 4 or 5 buttons. So that means you're supposed to only be having like 4 and 5 buttons when you're actually having it as a snack. You have the 4 and 5 buttons when you open the packet up, then you put it away, then the next day comes around, if you want a snack again, you're going to have another 4 or 5 buttons, and then the process and cycle repeats. Problem is that you know, and the companies know, that that's not what's going to happen. You're not just going to eat 5 buttons then put it away. You're not just going to sort of share all of them out with your friends into the perfect serving sizes. You know that if you're in the majority of cases, if you're going to buy some chocolate buttons, you're going to eat the whole packet. I know this, I've done this, you know this, and you've probably done this as well. They know this, they've done it, and the companies understand that most consumers do not look at the back of a sort of packaging. They don't look at the ingredients, they don't look at the nutrition and information very often. That's why often the traffic light things that are put on a lot of food products, that's why they're at the front, because sometimes it's important and those are very necessary, but people don't look at the back. They don't look for the protein, the fats, the saturated fats, the polyunsaturated fats, whatever. They don't look for the carbohydrates, of which sugars, of which starch, or whatever. They don't look for that kind of stuff. Consumers do not care, because they will just go off of, if they want chocolate, they'll have chocolate. They don't care if it's unhealthy. Maybe something like the dose makes the poison isn't too far off being correct when you consider this information that I've just given to you. 4 and 5 buttons, you have that per day. Realistically, it's probably not going to do anything to you, but an entire packet that's supposed to be a share bag, but they probably won't put it in very big bold letters, so 4 or 5 buttons probably isn't going to do that much to you whatsoever. But a whole packet that's supposed to be a share bag, but they're not going to put that in big bold letters, if you have an entire one of that is going to have an insane effect on your blood sugar, when you consider there's probably going to be 5-6 servings of chocolate buttons inside of one common £1.25 bag, which is absolutely insane. But they know that you're going to have 5-6 adult portions of chocolate buttons in one sitting, because they know that the majority of people, myself included, don't have the willpower to be able to just stagger some kind of like sweet treat. Now that's why I just don't buy that sort of stuff in the first place, because if you have like one biscuit, sure, it's not going to do much to you, but then because they taste so nice, you're then going to have another one and another one and another one, and it's incredibly hard. And if you're just trying to go about your daily life, it's a very useless waste of energy to try to put all your willpower and all your energy into resisting how many chocolate buttons you can eat, instead of just not buying it in the first place, which probably doesn't even take up half of the sort of willpower that you'll have to do just to resist the extra chocolate button. While I may have been sort of emotionally motivated and a little bit wrong when it comes to the dose makes the poison in the last video, I still think part of my point stands, and I still think this information that I'm giving to you now, that while sweet treats, one biscuit's not going to harm you, one chocolate button, 5 chocolate buttons isn't going to harm you. When you are going over the actual recommended portion size, it's actually going to have a big impact. But because they package these things so that you have like 6 chocolate button portions per pack, and it's basically a useless waste of your willpower to try resist and actually stagger the amount of chocolate buttons that you're going to have per day. So I just recommend not buying them in the first place, because having that many chocolate buttons in one sitting, or as anything that you can possibly think of, having over the portion size in one sitting is a very damaging thing to your blood sugar and to your triglycerides, to your LDL cholesterol and all that sort of stuff. If trying to stick to the actual serving size when these things are packaged to have 6 serving sizes per actual packet, it's going to be such a hard thing to resist. And so I personally perceive that there's just no point in buying them in the first place and trying to stay away from them, because that will use no less than half of the willpower of that one. So that's about all I wanted to say for this video, and I can't really think of anything else I want to say, how I can put it into better words or whatever. But with that, I recommend subscribing, because I love this community of young tribal people who are willing to improve themselves so much more than you already have, and good luck.